Your team says they're swamped, they're working late nights, they're stressed. But when you look at what's actually on their plate, you have no idea if they're genuinely overloaded or just bad at managing their time. And here's the problem. Without visibility into team capacity, you end up either overworking some people while others coast by, or you hesitate to take on new clients because you're not sure if your team can truly handle it. Now, if you've used ClickUp in the past, you may know they have a workload view which solves this problem beautifully. You can see exactly how full each person is and redistribute work accordingly. But if you're now using Notion, well, they don't have something similar, at least not built in, that is. So I created a workaround using two of Notion's brand new features, dashboard views and Notion AI agents. This setup allows you to set a capacity for each person on your team and then see how full each person is each day based on the tasks they've been assigned and the estimate time it will take to complete them. You can then reschedule, move, and reassign work to balance capacity across your team. So in this video, I'm going to dive into my Notion workspace and show you this setup so you can build something similar for yourself. Now, a quick heads up, you will need Notion's business plan for this setup as it uses AI agents and some advanced database features. But if you're managing a team, you're likely already on that plan anyway. So before we dive into the setup, let me show you exactly how this workload view works. So you can see here inside of Notion, I have this reporting page, and then I have a dashboard view, which I've called Workload. And this basically has three main sections. So at the top here, we have a view of our employees database. And for each of our employees, we have a formula property for each day of the week, which shows the agreed capacity that they have set for themselves or we've agreed on, and then how much that capacity is being taken up with the current tasks that have been assigned. So you can see here as an example, we have Emily, and she has agreed to work 4 hours on a Monday. And currently we have 1 hour scheduled for her or estimated for her, which is 25% of her overall Monday capacity. And if we scroll down to the task calendar, we can now see, yes, on that Monday, Emily has this task and it's estimated to take 1 hour to complete. The way we set capacity for each employee is if we open up the actual database itself, amongst some other information about Emily and her role. If we come to the view details, we have this capacity section here. So we can say, okay, Monday, we want it to be 4, or let's say, for example, actually it's 5. Tuesday it's 4, Wednesday it could be 2, so we really can make it very specific for each day of the week, or it might be that it's the same hours across the entire week, and then based on that you also see we'll get a week total, which is 20. And so it's this information that is then being inputted into this formula property here that you can see here, and it's giving us those results. So coming down then, the next section is of course that task calendar. And so this is where we can see the tasks on each day of the week, who's been assigned, and then also what is the estimated time set for them. We do the estimates when we open up the task itself, and again come into view details. And then within this time tracking section, we have estimated hours. We input it in here. So let's say actually this was estimated for 2 hours. And then we've got another formula property which formats this in a way that looks nice. So now we can see Emily has 2 hours estimated, and now it's 50% of her Monday capacity. If we scroll along, we can also see a week capacity at a glance as well. So we can actually see that based on all of the capacity for Emily across the 5 days, she has got 5 hours booked of the 20 hours that she has available, and that is 25% of her overall capacity. And then here at the bottom, we have these 3 different views that is basically to help us with the admin of the tasks themselves. So for example, we might see that there are some tasks that haven't got an assignee, and so we could add the assignee in there. Or we can see here we've got some unscheduled tasks. So actually, let's say this one here for Sam, we know that's got to happen this week as well. It's going to happen on the Friday. And then you'll notice now that I've scheduled that task for him, if there isn't an estimate for that task, it's going to find its way into this view here. And so we can make sure we also give this an estimate for 1 hour. And just by using these 3 different views, we can make sure that we actually fill out this task calendar so it's nice and accurate for the week ahead, and also that the actual capacity up here makes sense as well. So those are the 3 main sections, and that's how we might start to fill out this workload view. And then basically it's just the case of taking a look at each of the different team members and seeing who's got lots of work, who hasn't got enough work on each day, and trying to manage it. So just as an example, I can see here, John Smith on Friday has over capacity. So he has 125% or 5 hours of the 4 hours that we agreed with him. So I can scroll down here to the bottom and see why that is. So I can see, okay, so John has to do the onboarding videos here and finalize client survey, and both are 2 hours and 3 hours. So I might decide, okay, let's see if he's got any other days of the week he can get this done. He could do it on a Wednesday, would be quite good. So we could drag this over to the Wednesday like so. And now by doing that, we can see that his capacity has been reduced and now it's a bit more even. Another way we might do that is saying, actually, we would prefer for Emily to do this instead. So we could reassign this to Emily like so. Or the other way is that we might see that this is currently a big task, it's 3 hours long. Is there any way we could split this into different subtasks? So those are the 3 main ways we can start to balance out this capacity. And again, using these progress bars to basically see where everyone's out across the week, who needs more work, who needs less work. All right, so that's how the workload view works. Now let's take a look at how you can actually build this for yourself. So before we can track capacity, we need to set up the right structure in Notion. And we're going to need 2 databases, one for tasks and one for employees. So let me show you exactly what properties each database needs. So first of all, we have our tasks database, and we have a bunch of properties inside of this database. But the key ones we need are as follows. We need to make sure we have a status property, a due date property, an assignee property, and then in the view details section, we also need to make sure we have this estimated number property, just a simple number property, and then also this estimate formula property, which you can pause the screen and copy here. But this basically just formats that estimation into hours and minutes. And then most importantly, we also want to make sure we have this assigned employee property. And this is, if I edit property, a relation to our directory or our employees database, and it's a 2-way relation, and this will become important later. So that's what we need for the tasks. For the employee database or the directory database, here's what we need. So if I open up John Smith, you can see we have a bunch of properties, but most important ones are this person property. We need the capacity section. So we need the Monday to Friday simple number properties. We can have the week total, which again is a formula property, which just adds up each of those number properties. And then we'll have the relation, the 2-way relations, which have been added when you added it from the tasks. And you can make sure that this is named something like assigned tasks. And then based on that information, you can then build out the capacity reporting section. And so we have a formula for each day of the week and then a week capacity formula. So what I'll do is I'll add these formulas within the YouTube video description. But this is what they look like. They're quite complex, and there's quite a lot in there, but if you copy and paste this and make sure everything is named the same, it should work. So we've got one for each day of the week, and then here's the week capacity as well, which looks something like this. So those are the databases and properties you need, but here's the thing. For the capacity reporting to work, we need to make sure that we relate every single task that is assigned to someone to their employee database. Now, of course, when we're in the task database and we are assigning something to someone, we're going to be using this person property, and that is something native to Notion. Now, when we do this, it doesn't automatically mean that it's going to relate that to the employee database. But if we want to see this capacity reporting and have these nice progress bars, then we need to make sure that the assigned task is being related here. Now, before custom AI agents, this wasn't possible. We weren't able to create an automation that was able to take a look at a user and then based on the name alone, find from a different database the same name. But now with the custom agents, this is possible. So here you can see I've got this task assignment linker, which automatically links tasks to the employee directory when assignees are set. So the triggers are when a property is updated in the task database, which is for the assignee property. So when a person is assigned to a task, that's the trigger. And then the instructions are, I want you to automatically link tasks in the task database to the employee database when an assignee is set. So when a task assignee property is filled, query the directory database to find the employee page where the person property matches the task's assignee. So what that means in practice is when we have a task like send invoice and we set the assignee to, let's say, John Smith, what we want the agent to do is go through our directory and find any directory entries where the person property has been set to John Smith. So you can see here, John Smith, the person is John Smith. And so based on that, we then want it to relate this task using that relation that we created, which is over here. We want it to relate this assigned employee to the John Smith directory entry. So let me show you this happening in real time. I'm going to set John Smith as the assignee. If we go over to the task assignment linker, we should see that there is a new activity happening. There it is. We've got when one property is updated and it's thinking it through. And now we can see it's completed because inside of this task, we have the related John Smith entry. And so that now means that over on the John Smith directory, we can see in the assigned tasks, we have the task in there. There it is, send invoice. And now that means that if I gave this the due date of today and I gave it the estimate of 1 hour, then that would update for Wednesday's capacity of 1 hour out of the 4 hours available. Just want to hop in here and say, if you're finding this helpful, make sure to hit the like button. It really does help the channel and allows me to keep making these types of videos. So let's move on to the next part where this all comes together. Now it's time to build the actual workload dashboard where you'll manage your team's capacity. So we can see again in our reporting page, this is our workload dashboard. And the way I created this was by creating a new view, choosing dashboard, and then it opened up the edit builder and I was able to add the views as I go. So let me go to the one I've already built and hit edit so we can actually open this up and see exactly what we're working with. So the first view we have is that agreed capacity. And if we come to the view settings, you can see that this is coming from the directory in a table view. And for the property visibility, we've brought in each of those capacity formulas as well as the week capacity formula. We've done nothing else for the actual filtering of this view, but we have applied a sorting to make sure that the employee name is ascending. And then we can apply it the same for the task calendar. So we can basically see the right names in the right order. So that's the agreed capacity. The next one is the task calendar. So this, of course, is coming from our tasks database. We've got this in a calendar layout, and we've also made sure that we're showing the calendar as a week. And for the properties, we're just showing the assignee, and we're showing that estimate formula, not the number property, but the formula, which gives us the nice formatting of hours and minutes. For the filtering, we have one rule here, which is just to show things that are active. So status is not done or archive. We don't need to add any other filtering as this is obviously a week calendar. And so we can hop across different weeks and just see our current week if we need to. And again, our sorting is assignee ascending to make sure that we have the names roughly aligning with what is up here. And then finally, in our third section, we have these 3 columns. So the first one is assigned tasks. This is our task database. Here we are in the table view and we're just showing the due date and the assignee. But here's where we use the filtering very intentionally. So we're going to say for the filtering, status is not done. The due date relative to today is this week and the assignee is empty. So this is going to show us any unassigned tasks which are due this week. And so obviously we want to give them an assignee so then they can be on this calendar and be showing the reporting for the capacity correctly. For the unscheduled tasks, we're in our tasks database again. We are just showing our assignee and due date. And here we are showing a filtering, and this is status is not done and the due date is empty. And then finally, for unestimated tasks, we're in our task database. We are showing our assignee, due date, and estimated number property. And then for the filtering for this one, we're saying that the due date is this week and the estimated hours property is empty. So just by setting up this dashboard view, we can create all of these different views with the correct properties, filtering, and sorting, and then we are able to remodel or recreate this workload view. So that's how you manage team capacity inside Notion, even though they don't have a native workload view. Now, this capacity tracker is just one piece of a much bigger system, because if you want to truly scale your agency without the chaos, you need more than just capacity management. You need a complete operating system that covers everything from client delivery to financial tracking to team accountability. And that's exactly what I've built inside my Notion workspace. In this video right here, I'll give you a full tour of my complete agency operating system, which includes every database, every dashboard, every workflow that keeps mine and my clients' businesses running smoothly. So if you want to see how this all fits together into one system, click this video here and I'll see you over there.